Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy X. See, what I'm doing here is I've gone over to the search option on the map aboard the Celsius, I think it was called, the airship that the Albed have controlled for a little while. They're willing to give us a ride to wherever we want to go. And we have the option of just searching the planet for destinations to go to, and there are a number of these things you can go to. See, here we go, we have Mihen Ruins, a few other ones. But Mihen Ruins was not quite where I want to go just yet. Something I want to find. Now, an easy way to find it is to do what I'm doing now, is just to do this sort of search grid location, just moving around and searching each spot, even though for some reason I'm not finding it. Ugh, jeez, driving me insane. Don't worry, people. I'll find it. There. No, that's not it. But it's another area we're going to have to go to. We don't have to, but it's an option that we can go to later. I'm getting crazy. Here, I'll jump ahead. There it is. We found it. How do you pronounce that? The Bodge Temple? Something like that. But you'll recognize this place once we get here. Where are we? Now you remember this. This is where Tidus first arrived when he came in the Spira.
What's up? Something here?
I almost got eaten by a fiend here. Payback time.
I get the picture. Alright, let's go.
Yep. This entire thing is motivated by Tidus' revenge. He wants to get revenge. Now, we noticed we were here back in the beginning of the game, and now that we've been here before, and we can see it now, we get to see it for what it is. Realize it is a Temple of Spira. Sunken, but it is a Temple of Spira. And we have this monster we need to fight. Now this battle can actually be pretty difficult if you go into it unprepared. Just remember the fact that you have to use Tidus, Wonka, and Riku in this fight, because they're the only characters who can swim. Because if you, it would be great if I could bring my Auron or Wonka or Kamari into this fight, because Auron has strong physical and Kamari has strong magic attacks. It would be great if I could bring them into this fight, but I can't, so I'm going to have to use these characters and take care of these characters. Now let's see if it... Oh, also note that my Riku, I'm using a lot of magic attacks during this fight, and that's because I've reached the end of her sphere grid, and her character has moved over into Lulu's sphere areas. Now, it's kind of moved into the center, so Riku has access to Lulu's middle-level elemental attacks. Now, she's not really that great with these kind of magic things, but she's better than, it's better that you use this than her rather poor physical attack. Let's see, KO Punch. It's going to do a lot of KO punches. So make sure you have plenty of Phoenix Downs, or if you're under your characters happen to have any units recovery spells, that'd be great too. Okay, notice what it's doing here. It's sucking Riku up into the side of it. Now, what's going to happen now is Riku is going to have to be stuck inside of the monster, and the thing will also copy her status. Riku had haste on her, so now the monster has haste on her as well. Now, if you choose a character that's trapped in struggle, it will hurt the monster, and then it will spit out your character. The character will also be knocked unconscious. Now, make sure you struggle. If you leave the character in there doing nothing, then your character is going to be spit out anyway, and it'll knock out the other two characters instead. Now, something the boss hasn't done, and it's not going to do too much, considering the battle just ended, is use something like Stone. status, and your character will simply be stalled. Not really the worst thing in the world because they're invulnerable to damage, but it does take them out of the battle, and the battle will end if the remaining characters have stone status on them. You can recover it with soft or whatever. But since we're underwater, it doesn't quite work that way. Your character, if hit with stone, will fall out of the battle and be removed from the fight. You cannot recover them. So make sure you equip your characters with items that block against stone, like stone proof or whatever the other one was called. Something that just helps you prevent stone status on your characters. Then after the battle you might as well remove it, because not too many characters or enemies in this game inflict stone status. It's definitely a temple. Now what this is, this relates back to the destruction spheres that we were finding during all of our treks through the cloister and the trials. You had to get each and every destruction sphere in all 6 of the temples. They're not necessary to beat the game, but they're necessary for this. And you can go back to end before many of the destruction spheres can miss. But you get the destruction spheres and you use them, you get your little treasure. And it activates each one of these little glyphs here. All 6 need to be activated. But once they are done, you can proceed through the door in the back of the room. Okay. The glyph is going to disappear and you can go through it. Now, this is another chamber of the faith. Mega Phoenix. There's also a treasure chest on the other side of the room, but I've already picked that up. So, I can't remember what was in it, but don't worry about it. It might not have been that great. Now, all your characters are going to follow you into this room. It usually doesn't happen.
You are Maester Seymour's mother.
So you know, yet still you seek my aid. My son, do you not hate him? It is all right. He is the one who sowed the seeds of hatred. He is to blame. But I am at fault for letting him become what he was. He was always alone, half guardo, half man. I wanted to give him the strength to live by himself. And so I became a faith. But because I let him taste power, he began to thirst for more. He was not satisfied with my aeon. He wanted more power.
And he found sin.
Yes. Come, summoner. I will bestow you with my power. The dark aeon, Anima. Destroy sin, and my son's obsession with it. though it is small recompense for what I did to him.
Yes, we have gotten Seymour's powerful super aeon Anima. Now this is actually his mother. There wasn't really... the existence of Anima was kind of glossed over in the beginning, in the early parts of the game. He used it to save the people during the Blitzball tournament when the Fiends invaded. Turns out the Guado were responsible for those Fiends getting in there. He also used it against our characters back in the Temple of Makalani, I think it was. And we defeated it then using which Aeon did we use? It was the new one we got. I guess it was Shiva. But anyway, it is a very powerful Aeon despite the fact that we were able to defeat it. Well, I think it's funny though, or not really funny, but interesting, that it was his mother that sort of gave her life to become a faith. That way, her son could have power, because he's a half-breed. He's half human, half Guado. And I guess nobody really stood well for that.
Showdown.
So she thought that, oh, if he has power, people will respect him, people will love him, all that kind of garbage. Well, I guess it did kind of work, because he became one of the leaders of Yevon, which is a very important thing for both the Guado and the humans. But it also turned him into a freaking psychopath. He became power hungry, because Anima was a very powerful Aeon. He got a taste of power, and he wanted more. And he has a fascination with sin, because he is aware of what sin's existence is. That sin is the final Aeon and a person, guardians. So he wants to become sin. He wants to make weapons, he can destroy everything. He's a lunatic, though. But this is what started that kind of quest for power. Now I brought you over here so we can demonstrate Anima. Pretty cool looking monster.
I will share your pain with you.
Okay, we have a few different options with Anima. We can do physical attack, we can do something called pain. Then we have all these other options down here which can be useful, as well as our galactic magic. Now, I think pain is maybe one of the coolest attacks in the game. It doesn't really look that good, but it's a physical attack that ignores the enemy's defense. So if they have, like, an armor, it doesn't ignore their attacks, but it ignores, like, armor that they have, which you normally have to use a piercing weapon or armor break on them. Pain just goes right past them, though, and is brutally powerful. So look at the way it just demolishes these enemies. Anima is, at this point, the most powerful Aeon that we have. Now that I've gotten Anima and I've demonstrated its power, I'm going to end the episode. So thanks for watching, and be sure to catch the next episode. Well, we'll do a few more of these side quests in the game.